Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Hearthome City, where today the Hearthome Haunts are going to be hosting the Striaton Spring. Now the Spring are going to start out with a ghost type of their own, being Dhelmise and Blossom, whereas Gengar and Chandelure are going to start out for the Hearthome Haunts. Now let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today, the 2nd place Hearthome Haunts or the 10th place Striaton Spring. Now the Spring actually 5 rounds ago was sitting in 2nd, so they've had quite the downfall, as Gengar is going to start out with a high jump kick. And it looks like it's going to connect and hit Blossom. Very decent start there for the Hearthome Haunts. That speed advantage is going to go to the ghost types, as Chandelure is going to go with the psychic. Also targeting Blossom there, and takes Blossom down in the yellow. Almost gets it into the red. Blossom with its opportunity to respond here, and it's going to go with a Blizzard. This is going to hit both Chandelure and Gengar. Much more effective on Gengar, as it's not very effective on Chandelure, but Gengar's cursed body prevents Blossom from using Metronome anymore, so it's going to start struggling. And a Flail from Dhelmise doesn't affect Chandelure because the ghost types are immune to fighting and normal type attacks, so that actually applies to Dhelmise as well. As Gengar sets up for a Boomerang, it's going to hit twice, hits Blossom the first time, not very effective, gets it into the red. That second hit won't get the job done, unfortunately, for the Hearthome Haunts. Chandelure could follow it up and get that elimination here though. And it's going to go with an Aurora Beam. You have to think this will get the job done, but instead it goes for Dhelmise. And a very good hit onto the Ghost Grass Pokemon with that super effective move. Now Blossom's going to use that struggle, hitting Chandelure here. It's going to get the recoil damage, so Blossom is actually eliminated itself thanks to that cursed body ability that Gengar has. Now Dhelmise is by itself on the field at the moment. It's going to go with a Gunk Shot. Looks like it's going to be targeting Chandelure with that move. And a decent hit, taking Chandelure down into the yellow. So we're going to have the 3rd Pokemon for the Striaton Spring coming onto the field shortly. And it's the Hoenn Grass starter, Sceptile, that comes on for the Striaton Spring. Sceptile has had a very up and down season, quite similar to the Springs in fact. But Sceptile can do massive damage, and it is now the quickest Pokemon on the field, as it goes with an Ancient Power. And it targets Gengar with this attack. And a very good hit on the Poison Ghost Pokemon, taking it down into the yellow. Gengar is going to respond with a Scary Face though. And it's going to lower the speed stat there of Dhelmise, already though the slowest Pokemon on the field. Chandelure is going to go with the Force Palm. But that doesn't affect Dhelmise because it is a fighting type move, and Dhelmise again is a Ghost Grass type. Dhelmise going with the Crab Hammer now. It's going to target Gengar and get the elimination with a critical hit. So Gengar is taken out of this matchup. Now Hearthome Haunts are going to send out their number 1 draft pick, Dragapult, a pseudo legendary. It is a Ghost Dragon type. And it is the quickest Pokemon in the Elite Challenge League. So obviously Dragapult is going first, and it's going to start off with a Present. And it throws that Present to Sceptile, and it's very effective. Very good hit on Sceptile there by Dragapult. Now Sceptile is going to respond with a Metal Burst, targeting Dragapult with that move, and a very good hit, even more damage than Dragapult did the Sceptile, but Dragapult has that cursed body ability as well, so Sceptile now will also be doing struggle just like Blossom did. As Chandelure gets that super effective hit onto Dhelmise and takes its Leopard Berry with that pluck. But Dhelmise is just hanging on there by a thread. Now Dhelmise goes with the first impression, but it does fail because that only works on a Pokemon's first move when they come onto the battlefield. Now Dragapult's going to go with the Cross Poison, and this will finish Dhelmise off, so Dhelmise has been eliminated, and it was even a critical hit. Apologies there. There's even a critical hit there onto Dhelmise, as Sceptile goes with that struggle onto Chandelure, taking it down in the red, but Sceptile gets massive recoil damage from that hit. Now Chandelure has the opportunity to focus solely on Sceptile and can do huge damage, but instead it goes with a Wrap. So the Wrap's not going to do a great deal of damage at first, but it will continue to afflict Sceptile in between turns. And Sceptile gets taken down into the red by that Wrap, as we're having the 4th Pokemon now come on for the Striaton Spring. It's Exeggutor, and it's a Alolan form, so another Dragon type coming onto the field. Now it has that Frisk ability, but we already know every Pokemon in the Elite Challenge League is holding onto a Leopard Berry. Now Dragapult, if you can get a Dragon type move onto Exeggutor, but instead it goes for an Electrify, targeting Sceptile with that attack. So Sceptile's moves have now been electrified, but it still has no moves, so it's going to struggle again, and it's going to get the elimination on Chandelure with that struggle, but it also has that recoil damage, and that's going to finish Sceptile off. So now Sceptile's been eliminated. So for a split second there, we were all leveled up here on the battlefield, but the Hearthome Haunts have taken back the lead as we're going to get a Shadow Sneak coming from Exeggutor. This will be super effective on Dragapult, and Dragapult is just hanging on. I actually thought it was about to be eliminated. It is still hanging on as a Bomber Snow comes on for the Striaton Spring. And it's Cursor coming out for the Hearthome Haunts. Now Bomber Snow has that snow warning, so it is going to start to hail on the field, so everyone but a Bomber Snow will be taking damage from that hail in between turns. Now Dragapult. It's going to go for a Water Pulse. Targeting a Bomber Snow with this move. It's not very effective whatsoever. Bomber Snow takes that hit very well. Bomber Snow going for its first move of the matchup. It's going to go with a Brutal Swing. This is going to hit everybody on the field, but it's going to take Dragapult out with it, and it's a super effective move on Cursor. So Cursor's Perish Body has actually been activated, which means every Pokemon, obviously, except for Dragapult, that's on the field right now, because Dragapult has been eliminated, will be eliminated in 3 turns, but we're going to get a Dark Pulse coming from Exeggutor. This will also be super effective on Cursor, and Cursor has been eliminated. 2 super effective hits in a row, and Cursor is taken out. So just like that, the Striaton Spring have taken the lead as Exeggutor is hit with that hail. Poltergeist coming out now, and it's going to be joined by Aegislash in its shield form. Aegislash's defense stats will become its attack stats if it switches to its blade form. Now Poltergeist is going to go with the Play Nice. Going for Exeggutor with that. So it's going to lower Exeggutor's attack stat. Bomber Snow now with its opportunity. Goes for an Attract, which doesn't affect Poltergeist. Now Aegislash going for its first move of the matchup. And it's going to go with its stance change and switch into its blade form. And it's going to go with the Water Spout. This is going to hit both Exeggutor and a Bomber Snow here. Now it's not very effective on either Pokemon. Exeggutor is going to go with a Trop Kick. Targeting Aegislash there. It's not very effective though, but it is going to lower Aegislash's attack stat. Because again, everyone except for a Bomber Snow is going to take damage from that hail. Now Hearthome Haunts are sitting in second. They did lose last week when they faced the first place Olivanoa, so they're wanting to redeem themselves here today. But they are in second place. They have practically guaranteed their spot in the Grand Trials in 4 weeks. But they could still actually lose it if they do not win from here on out. So they definitely want to win today. As a Frenzy Plant from Poltergeist to take a Bomber Snow down into the yellow, even though it's not very effective for Bomber Snow with its opportunity to respond. And it's going to go with a Flare Blitz. If this goes for Aegislash, it's going to be super effective. And it does. And Aegislash is eliminated with that hit from a Bomber Snow. Now, amazingly, there is only 1 Pokemon left for the Hearthome Haunts as a Bomber Snow takes that recoil damage. We get a Magical Leaf now coming from Exeggutor. Poltergeist taking that damage, but its Cursed Body, as we've seen twice previously, will prevent Exeggutor from using its Metronome, and it will instead be struggling. Now, Striaton Spring want the victory today. They've lost their last 4 games, and before they started this losing streak, they were sitting second on the ladder, exactly where the Hearthome Haunts are now. That's how quickly it can change. 4 rounds, and there are 4 games left in the season, including this one, as Exeggutor uses its struggle. Now, Exeggutor gets the recoil damage there. It's Poltergeist and Exeggutor take damage from that hail again. But both these sides definitely want good positioning in the trials, as a Bomber Snow will faint from that Perish Song. And Exeggutor, though, will still be holding on because it was not the one that activated that Perish Body of Cursor's. Now Leafeon comes on. The Evolution is the last Pokemon for the Striaton Spring. It's a tall ask from Poltergeist at the moment. And Leafeon with that speed advantage is going to go with a bounce, so it's going to spring up high into the sky. We'll see this bounce take effect next turn, which will give Striaton Spring a huge opportunity. Poltergeist is going to go with a stomp here, and Leafeon avoids that attack. Which means Exeggutor is going to use this struggle. It takes Poltergeist down into the red, and Exeggutor does get the recoil damage and eliminates itself. But the Striaton Spring have a massive advantage at the moment because you know that that bounce is coming from Leafeon as the hail just stops now on the battlefield. So if Leafeon connects with this, it should be all over, and here it comes, that bounce, and it takes Poltergeist out, and the Striaton Spring have gotten the victory, a huge victory today over the Hearthome Haunts. A much needed victory because they did not want that losing streak taking them out of the running. Now those cursed bodies from the Hearthome Haunts had a huge impact on this matchup, and at times almost hindered the Hearthome Haunts because you knew that struggle was going to hit. But that recoil damage being done to the Striaton Spring was huge and massive for the Hearthome Haunts, but they do not want to lose a third game in a row next week when they travel to Spikeman City to take on the Spikeman Devils. The Devils will have a type advantage over the Hearthome Haunts. The Haunts have had a very impressive season and they don't want to slip this close to the trials. Whereas the Striaton Spring next week are going to go to Fortree City. They're going to be at a type disadvantage as well when they take on the Flyers. But the Striaton Spring need the victories. They need to secure their spot in the top 8 as we get ever closer. We have 3 games left after this. Both sides, 3 games left before we hit the trials at the end of the season. But taking out Curse and Dragbolt was a huge shift in this matchup for the Striaton Spring. A huge shift that they desperately needed. A Bomber Snow taking out Aegislash with that Flare Builder. It's amazing. Very well done. The Poltergeist did its best as a Bomber Snow was eliminated due to that Perish Body from Cursor. And Exeggutor, again, that recoil damage taking it out. But the Evolution, Leafeon, gets the victory for the Striaton Spring. Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.